This is not to attack anyone or anything. This is just friendly conversation. So I was watching an episode of the Osbournes podcast, and Sharon had her opinions on marijuana. She said it makes you unmotivated, and of course Ozzy was like, it should be legal, and I'm like, yes, marijuana should totally be legal. Because I want to grow my hybrid strain.
If there's a poster child for the failure of the DARE program in the 90s and early 2000s, I think that Josh would be the perfect poster child for that. And I'm not going to get into a debate about if, ands, or buts with the whole puff puff pass type of thing. But at the same time, while I think there's plenty of benefits and comparatively relative to other things that are legal, it's like it doesn't really hold a grain of salt to some other things. At the same time, I hate the argument when people say that it's not addictive. It's technically not the substance itself, but it's habit forming. And you can tell when it's habit forming because you have people like Josh that exist. His entire life is centered around drinking and smoking and staying inside. His day-to-day, he's basically a person that's on house arrest, but it's like a self-imposed house arrest. For all we know, Puff might have jumped off his shoulder into the grass and went like, I don't know, 10 yards away, but that's too far for Josh. That's too far away from his domicile, and he can't be doing that. That's unsafe for him. He might actually go out into the sun, and we can't be doing that, guys. All right. So I think the agoraphobia is just playing into it a little bit, and he's gonna rant a little bit. He's gonna rave and holler, but he's in for a really good day because the trolls sent him some presents.
When you say stoners are not motivated, I'm like, bullshit. If you're in a room and you have like a bunch of fucking pot but nothing to smoke it with, watch what happens. Stoners will MacGyver their own pieces. And then she went on to say that marijuana makes you lazy, and I'm like, it can. That's kind of like saying, well, alcohol makes you violent, and not everyone gets violent on alcohol. Normally, when I drink, I turn into a smartass.
Yeah, he turns into a smartass. Guys, completely ignore that last stream. We're just gonna suppress that from our memory. He's a well-adjusted member of society, and he just becomes a little jokester. He's the class clown, He's putting he's taking his nuts out in between his zipper, and he's saying, "Oh, look at this." That's what he's doing when he's drunk. He's definitely not verbally abusing next door neighbors and shouting at the top of his lungs in the middle of the night because the trolls sent him cat food and DoorDash. That's definitely what is not happening, YouTube, 100%. And he's just like, he has no self-reflection at all. I know this isn't exclusively related to the Mary Jane, but the dude has no motivation and is lazy. Like, he hasn't learned a single skill through his YouTube in his entire time. The only skills that he's learned is how to destroy your liver to an irreplaceable place. And it's ironic because at some point you would pray that we could get something else, but it's always this decaying chair with the decaying plushies with the decaying man. It's like we're watching the picture of Dorian Gray, and it's just the part where the pride disappears and the painting starts to disintegrate. That's what we're seeing here.
Apparently, someone knocked on my door to check on me, and I started yelling at him, and it made him cry, and I didn't even realize it because I was just like, you know. I've been cyberbullied mercilessly for well over the last 10 years of my life, and including bullied in my entire life in general. So I'm quick to fight back, and it's like, Sometimes not saying anything is the best policy. If you're constantly work, 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 you're gonna burn out. You gotta take time to just relax.
I feel like we all know somebody like Josh, at least to some extent in our lives, that sort of take this philosophy of, well, life can't be all about work, you have to be able to take some time out for yourself, have some relaxation. And I 100% agree with that sentiment, but you still have to work. Humans are built, like your entire psyche is built around doing tasks. You need tasks to keep yourself motivated and keep yourself from like destroying everything in your life. And so that's why if you don't have anything to do every single day, and you don't have any goals that you're setting out for yourself, and you're constantly being babied by family members in your life, and you have everything covered through government programs, you're gonna internalize that and you're gonna blow up on random internet trolls because somehow Josh's drunken stupor, where he drank an entire bottle of Jack and then had the cops called and then yelled at his next door neighbor who came over, probably concerned because there's a raving lunatic next door and she probably has some kids that she has to give dinner to, and he yells at her and is just being belligerent with her. That's the troll's fault somehow. I don't know how. I didn't make you drink that bottle, buddy. You even said in the beginning, we only have a couple drinky poos, and then I'm gonna go do my food hack. Well, buddy, what happened to that plan? It's the troll's fault. It's all your fault. If you're watching this right now, you're like on a watch list somewhere. Josh is documenting everybody's names, and it really disappoints me that he doesn't let people comment on his videos. I mean, like, it's not even fun, because whenever I make videos, typically when I get the original clip, I'll stick around to see what's going on so I know if there's enough content for me to react to. And it's fun to read the comments because people give you insights about what the video's about. They're making jokes, hoo-ha, the whole world works, and Josh just eliminates that from our happy time. And
you see the Minnesota Vikings mascots? That's not what real Vikings look like. And I feel like that's cultural appropriation as somebody who has Scottish Viking ancestry. But you're not going to see that change because the mascot's white. Take it with some of this peach ring G Fuel.
Not sponsored, guys, not sponsored. Don't worry. This game fuel not sent to me from Keemstar. This is my own volition. I'm sure some buddy troll sent it to him at some point. That's why he has it. But I think it's funny, Josh, that because you have 1/64th Viking blood in you you weren't really a Viking probably. Your family was probably farmers in like the middle of the boglands. So let's not get it twisted here. Either way, you're probably the first person I've ever heard, because typically with this whole, oh man, yeah, like, you can't be representing different cultures. That's racist. You can't be doing that. Meanwhile, most representations of any white culture, everybody's basically fine with, including white people, except for Josh. I guess the Viking caricature of, it's still like a muscular guy with the dreadlocks hanging down from the helmet and the horn helmet, and it's like, yeah, he's also a fictional cartoon character that's running around supporting a bunch of guys in tights playing a game of hump ball. Like, where does the lunacy end? Where does it end? I don't understand, Josh. What do you want them to make a one-to-one character of you with your balding head and all? I mean, we don't know what his hair looks like under the helmet. We know what your hair looks like under the helmet, and it's not looking very good. So for all we know, you're just braiding your dreads together into being a Viking, just like the caricature.
Merry Christmas, KingCobraJFS. Hey, dude, Merry Christmas. Fuck off. I hate the holidays. I know you hate the holidays and all, but hopefully this box brings you a little bit of that old Christmas cheer. Sorry to hear about Puff. Hopefully he's just hibernating and turns up soon. Yeah, I hear that. But if not, I hope this little stuffed beardy dragon helps ease the pain of his loss and touch. Thank you, Inspector Blur, for that. It's not going to ease the pain. It's not the same, dude. Puff number 2. Put him next to this one. I'm sorry, YouTube. I didn't mean to get all emotional on ya.
The fakest crying I've ever seen in my entire life. Guys, I'm so sad. I'm so sad, guys. This isn't the same thing. This stuffed animal, it's not the same thing. And also, clearly this message is from a troll. He's naming the animal Puff 2. He's saying, yeah, it's probably hibernating outside. Don't worry. It'll show up, buddy. It'll come right back. And Josh, it flies over his head. It's no surprise. But it's also cute that even if this was a sincere letter, Josh wouldn't give the person the time of the day. Because he thinks he deserves this stuff. He deserves to get presents from his fans because he has so many fans. And when somebody says, oh, Merry Christmas, I hope you have a good time of year. Josh, nah, I hate holidays. I hate the holidays around this time. Stupid idiot. I hate you. It's like he's so ungrateful. So ungrateful, and it's cute. He's gonna keep trying to milk this whole Puff situation for a while, I think, and he's gonna talk about it a little bit more. And it's just like, I'm glad he's adding it to the collection of decaying stuffed animals on his couch. It'll be gone in no time. Maybe he'll get really drunk and just hold it and stare at it like that picture when Wings held up of him like 20 years ago being all skinny. And he'll just stare at it for a long time and then just break down into tears. I think that's a pretty likely scenario. We'll be on the lookout for that in like New Year's.
You got some beer, that's always appreciated. Got a 6-pack of some variety here. Let's check these out. The artwork is pretty cool on these. Now, beer is for 21 and up. I've been out of alcohol for like the last couple of days, so I appreciate this.
This is the biggest lie. He just can't help himself. Yeah, I definitely don't have any alcohol here. Just none. It's all gone. Yeah, it's been a couple days without any drinks. Sure. And I'm sure I've made this comparison before. I'm on a really big Lady Di kick. If you don't know who Lady Di is, there was this talk show that was called Opie and Anthony, and she was a reoccurring guest and caller who was a degenerate alcoholic who basically lived the exact same lifestyle as Cobra, but as a like 50-year-old woman. And she would just drink all day nonstop. When she stopped drinking, she'd get really sick. She couldn't stop the shakes, the whole thing. And eventually she like lost her mind because she drank too much. Now, we're at the point with Cobra, who's like 30s somewhere. I forget the exact age of Cobra, but he's doing Duster. Even though I did see a clip that he said that Duster's not as effective anymore, so he doesn't do it as much because it doesn't get him as high as it used to. Which is, after all my years of schooling and after all my time working a professional job, who really thought that I'd be coming home, sitting down and talking about a man who's addicted to Duster and lizards and Ozzy Osbourne? What type of reality am I living in? Some alternate dimension me is probably like the smartest doctor in the entire region, and somehow I got stuck in this dimension.
Stay away from ice. Merry Christmas. Fuck off. Like how we glitter bombed Cobra, and all I did was get all over my shirt and pants. You didn't really achieve anything outside of that. So my trolls, they love to like text me all day, every day, and they haven't been texting me as much lately, so I guess I'm wearing them down.
I like that that's his perception of the whole thing, is because they haven't been texting him a lot, somehow in his bog brain that means that he's wore them down and they just don't have the energy or the attention span to be able to have a chat with him anymore. I know that we saw in the documentary that he basically will just sit there all day in voice reply to messages, and I got a problem with that. First off, I think voice replying is the dumbest thing. Like, unless you're like writing a manifesto in a text, it really doesn't make any sense to me if you're just sending a one sentence text. It just doesn't. It's annoying to people that you're sitting around, and you also, it's like, it's kind of uncomfortable. I don't want to sit there and listen to your conversation. That's why somebody's sending you a text, and that's why it's not a phone call. Regardless, maybe that's just boomer talk. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, dude. But this man, he's addicted to the trolls. He's addicted. And don't worry, he'll keep talking about the glitter bomb. You thought he would just move on? He'd just forget this and be like, the trolls, they're trying to get under my skin. I'm not gonna let that happen. Yeah, sure, he says that, but his actions tell a different.
They're like, here's a thought. Instead of getting your family craptical soap for Christmas, why don't you put some thought into it? Oh, but wait, that would cut into your DoorDash tip money, but you don't even tip those guys, you fucking asshole. So they're basically ripping on my favorite soap. And I says to him, dude, my soap kicks ass. Why don't you worry about getting Christmas gifts for your own damn family and leave me the fuck alone? And how is that a crappy gift when I'm handing out tactical soap to my dad and my granddads? Oh my God, what a piece of shit, helping the men in his life smell sexy for their wife. Oh my God, I'm such a horrible person, YouTube.
He's such a self-filleting asshole. Like, I understand the plight of trying, especially when you become an adult, trying to figure out what to buy things for people, because like once you start to get a disposable income, it's like, well, I don't know, what can I even really get you that you probably are gonna get for yourself anyway or have already gotten. So it's like a weird juggling game that you try and play. I mean, you can go more central, which is what I do. It's like, you know, some people can never have enough candles, you know, or like dish towels, stuff like that. That's like an easy thing. It's cheaper. And I'm sure the only reason why Josh keeps giving tactical soap every year, I have a feeling he probably got like a big like sample pack back in the day, because we know he's not washing himself. And even if he is, he's probably not using soap. He's probably one of those people that are like, when they go to bathe themselves, they are just like, they think the whole process is like too time consuming, so they just think if they just hop in the water, they're good to go. That's the vibe I get from Josh. Anyway, I feel like he probably has a big box full of old tactical soap that they gave him. It's probably back when his promo code was still like 10 or 15% instead of the 1% it currently is. So, you know, your supplies are probably running down, buddy. But even still, it's like, you can do something even more sentimental. Like, I don't know what Clint necessarily likes, but, you know, even if you just like said, hey, let's go to a bar and I'll buy you a drink. Like, that's better than you giving him tactical soap, because I've never smelt tactical soap, I've never held tactical soap, but I assume it's a lower quality but overly expensive soap that I can just go to Marshall's and get an equivalent of. So I don't know, maybe I'm speaking out of my ass, but yeah.
My dad is super awesome. He got me some wand making supplies. So the wands on Etsy are going to get super pretty. And they're not going to be cheap, I'll tell you that right now. Because resin is a pain in the ass to make. It takes forever to harden. So there's that. Like, oh, haha, we sent Cobra a glitter bomb with some pink glitter. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, you got me. Like, Cobra, why is there glitter all over your chair? Well, I had a fucking stripper over and she was fine as hell. Let's go with that story, right?
Yeah, you really owned the trolls with that one, Josh. You definitely did not say 10 minutes ago that you weren't going to talk about it and you weren't going to give the attention to the troll that sent you the glitter bomb, but here you are. Nah, instead, when you definitely have company over, because that 100% happens on a consistent basis, you're definitely going to say, yeah, I got a stripper to come here with my gnarly, gangled tooth face. And decaying hairline. I definitely got a stripper to show up with my SSI money. Oh, big time. Big time. I'm sure, buddy. I'm sure that definitely is working out for you, YouTubes. I don't know. I don't understand why he feels the need to over embellish. You know, it's not that big of a deal, buddy. It's not that big of a deal. I don't even blame you that much. And part of me has this weird fascination where it's like, I kind of want to buy one of Josh's wands at some point. But he upcharges a broken stick that he ran through some paint and called it a day for like $70 plus. And in fairness, as somebody who has worked with resin in the past, if you've never really worked with resin, it can be kind of tricky to make it work. I'm sure he's gonna mess it up either way, but it's also really expensive, like really expensive. So when he starts posting things that are probably gonna be like $200 plus, don't be surprised. All right, I'm forewarning you. Resin is really expensive, and especially if you get a high quantity of it, it is gonna be really expensive. So fair warning to you wand buyers out there.
That's the only thing I want for Christmas is for my lizard to come back. Get him back in his tank. Safe and sound. They do sell other beard, like the pet stores here in town, they do sell bearded dragons. But they're like $70 to $100. And I don't want to replace him until I know for sure, you know. And even then, it'll be at least a year before I can even think, you know. When I first got Puff and showed him off on YouTube, oh yeah, they called Metro and harassed him, and Metro came over 3 to 4 times. You know what? You love your lizard. He's in good hands. We'll stop bothering you. And the one time I actually do need them, they're like, oh, we can't. Sorry.
It's probably because Metro's never gotten a call about a bearded dragon running away from home. They've probably never gotten that call before, and they're like, "Oh, little Jimmy, 4-year-old Jimmy called us. We'll ignore that one." And at the same time, it's like it's bizarre to me that he can't even understand that the trolls were validly calling this place in order to get Puff removed because wowzers, gadzooks, you actually did do something horrible to your lizard. Whether or not, I still think that he died inside your apartment and you know he's dead. That's why you hold the stipulation of, well, yeah, I've already looked at the price and they're like $70 to $100 and I'm gonna wait at least a year until I get a new one. You've already pre-planned all this stuff. You're not that smart. You're not that forward thinking. But for some reason, when it comes to your bearded dragon that went missing, air quotes, you've already planned ahead for the future. That's odd. That doesn't really line up with your other train of thought. That's suspicious, Joshua. I wonder why. I wonder why that's how it works out. But sure, he's hibernating, guys. We'll go back. He's in the 10-yard radius that he can't go into, so don't worry, he'll be back. He knows how to go home.
I'll drink both of these and I'll be just content for the evening. I'm not gonna polish through that 6-pack in one sitting. I like IPAs. I piss alcohol.
I'm gonna keep it at 100 with you guys. I'm a beer drinker, but I just don't like IPAs. I'm sorry if that offends people in the audience. I just don't. It just doesn't taste good. It's too bitter. I don't get the appeal of it. I know a lot of people like it, but it's like if I'm going to a bar and I want to drink beers, why would I get IPAs? What am I gonna drink 2? I'm there to drink. I'm there to drink 6, 7, 8 beers. I ain't drinking IPAs. It's gonna make my tummy hurt. It's gonna make me a wee little sad boy, alright? But if you like them, your prerogative. I will say, IPA cans, I feel like consistently have the most like interesting and creative can artwork compared to like all the other ones. And I don't know why that is. I really don't. Maybe it's the weirdo, eccentric people that are so invested in IPAs that's how they ended up in that profession. I don't know. That'd be a thought experiment to go evaluate. But he's definitely going to go finish these 6 beers off camera. He's just trying to prove to the trolls that he's not controlled by alcohol, alright? And just like that, it's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you guys enjoyed a nice Christmas. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.